Hello again, YouTube. This is 19 Bigfoot 85. Going to bring you another console review. What we're going to be doing this time, I showed a lot of this stuff off in my NES collection videos. You can watch them if you want to. If you already have, good for you. But most of the stuff I realize I've already showed, but I feel like showing it again. So this time I'm reviewing the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yes, I have the big gray clunker, the Model 1, the toaster NES as it's called. Some of you may be wondering, why is it called the toaster? I'll tell you why. Because when you have to stick it in and stick it down, just like in a toaster. Bunch of crap, right? Then you turn it on, you get that blinking red light, which is one reason why people didn't really like the NES. Well, I mean, they liked it because, come on, it had Super Mario, for God's sake. I mean, that's the deal maker there. Is if you're wondering why I'm struggling, is because mine actually had a new pin connector in it one time. This is a Car Wars, by the way. Not gonna bother showing what the games are, because I mean, those of you who've already watched my NES game collection, NES collection, by the way, just that one, if you've watched it, you know the games, except now I've gotten at least like 10 more since then. Let's look at the console. Here you have your cartridge port, which this was differentiated from the video game systems of the time, because at the time you had all top loaders, but they kind of wanted to differentiate it from like VCRs, or make it kind of look like VCRs. Just sorry about that. Sorry about that long pause, but I keep hearing something. Anyway, this is supposed to be like zero force insertion, which is anything but zero force, because you got to use force to push it in, and you got to use force to pull it back out. Which, one good thing about this front loading is it had the cartridge port. I mean, you didn't see the game, so it was sort of out of your way. Of course, a good hit at the side of it, if you're playing it, you were screwed. Anyway, you have your basic power, which feels very good. Presses in, holds in, presses again, pulls back out. It has a nice little LED right here, which they can be switched out with LEDs you'd find at Radio Shack. Red ones, blue ones, green ones, any ones you feel like. White ones, yellow ones. Anyway, have a comfortable reset button. Spring back very nicely, and of course I say power and reset on them, thankfully. Have your cartridge ports 1 and 2. You can't really see, yeah, you can see those now. These are 7-pin connectors. The connector looks like this. And again, I've already reviewed a lot of these things, but a lot of the games, but I'm really reviewing the system. On your side, you have some composite AV outs. In case you had a TV that was capable, you could just take a couple of cables, hook it up, get better picture quality, better color saturation, better sound, everything. And or if you didn't, you could just use your RF. And you have right here your channel 3 and channel 4 selector, AC adapter input. Nothing on the other side. The top of the system has some vents for cooling. Looks, I mean, this thing's familiar to just about anyone, but see here, I didn't grow up with this thing. I bought this thing last year simply because, I don't know, I was walking through the used game store, Gameplay that we have in here in town, that they sell NES stuff where they used to. They don't do a whole lot anymore. But I saw it and it was $30, and I thought, oh my god, I want it. And I still don't know why. Here on the bottom, one thing to note, yes, I still got the stickers from the store. You got all your FCC regulations, Nintendo Entertainment System. You probably cannot read that. I can't get it to focus. Curse you. Crap. Anyway, it says Nintendo Customer Support on the bottom. And right here, this little port, I never knew what this was for. Then I found out that this port right here was actually for the disk system that we were supposed to get, but we ended up not getting, because they ended up not needing to release it. And of course, because of this being the front loader, everyone had this problem. Crap, not working. Blowing it till it worked, or doing such things as pushing it in, pushing it up and down rapidly, or jiggling it around in there with this little area right here, or even going as far as jamming a second cartridge in on top of it, which most of those you shouldn't even try, because that can do tremendous damage to the system. I have the AC adapter and RF cord hooked up, and I'm not about to unhook them to show them. I think I've already showed it once. I don't know. Anyway, I sometimes just use the AV cords on the side because it's a lot easier. Instead of having blurry picture, you get really clear picture and really clear sound. I have some control pads. I have two of these. There's the second one. Two of your basic NES control pads. Has your nice little D-pad. This is the first system to actually use a real cross D-pad like this. Select and start, B and A. And this controller right here is pretty fresh. You can hear the tactile feedback on the buttons, the click. This one, not so much. But these things hold up over the years. These controllers. I mean, these are 20 years old. Almost. These things are almost 25 years old, and they still work. I have some others. You want to see a funky looking? You thought this thing was small? Well, look at this. This is an NES Max. Has a little just loose circular D-pad here. And first I thought, dang, is it broken? But actually, this ring actually depresses, and that's your D-pad. So when you move it, it depresses it. One thing this is supposed to be used for is like skater die. Oh, and also you have your B and A buttons. This is actually really hard to play Super Mario Bros. With, so I wouldn't try to do that. Has B and A turbo, and select and start buttons are smaller, but they're angled like on a Super NES. I also have everybody's favorite Nintendo accessory, the Zapper. Hold on. Alright, see? Got a nice real spring back on the controller. Barrel, nice red trigger. This is an original gray. And one more thing I can show you before the good Lord, look at all the wiring. Look at this. One more thing I can show you. Well, a couple more things. One thing I got when I first got the NES, a few months after I got it, got the Gold Game Genie. And for those of you who don't know, which you probably do, stick it on the end of the cartridge like this. pokes out like that. Looks really retarded, but it also gives you a little thing to grip your thumb on to pull it out easily. And final thing is this Hanyu Explorer 1. It's an NES Advantage clone, but it's got a really short joystick. I mean, it's kind of hard to control, but it's actually really responsive. You have B&A buttons. It's nowhere near as big as an NES Advantage. B&A Turbo with your dials again, your player 1-2 switch, start, select, slow, and these buttons have absolutely no effect. Okay, I'm out of time. Nothing Bigfoot 85. See you next time.